Hello guys, welcome to the next episode of Michis Esport Diaries, which is a little bit of a special one because we have to talk about a couple of things, and I'm going to condense them pretty much, as you've already been recognizing from the title of the video. Things are in a little bit of a change. For those of you that have known me even like a couple of years back, you will have seen a massive ramp up in, like, you know, call it content spam or whatever you want, like content release on YouTube, on Twitch and whatsoever over the past 13, 14, 15 months, let's say. With the more ultimate, there was a huge chance, there is like new spectators coming in, new players coming in, so that was a huge chance for me also as a streamer to make a difference. So we did a lot of tutorials, we did a lot of racing, we did a lot of streams, and lately I have to admit I kinda didn't have the biggest satisfaction coming from it, and to me that is very important. So yes, we cannot go on like this. In the last 2 or 3 months, I would say my personal performance, when it comes down solidly to race results, haven't been on the level that I'm expecting from myself. Haven't been on the level that probably other people also expect from myself either. We have won championships in the Ferrari 499P LMH hypercar, and lately, whatever we did, we have been half a second off. Grigoletto, Di Buono, Iamulo, just to mention 3 guys have absolutely nailed that Ferrari. They've been running circles around me, and actually it drove me mad quite a bit. And it got me into a period where I was thinking, like, am I doing the right things? Am I doing it correct? Do I do enough practice? Do I invest enough time for performance? Do I also satisfy my personal ambition when it comes to streaming action? And I figured, as much as you guys love to see Fears Racing, last to first challenges whatsoever, you guys are basically here for seeing good racing. You guys are here for seeing top split driving, fighting for wins, maximum performance, and I have failed to succeed in that lately, and that got me thinking about, like, is that still the right thing or the right way to do it? And while doing so, I kinda recognized to have sort of burned out a little. Like, I've not lost the satisfaction from sim racing. I also didn't lose the desire to do races, but at the same time, I was live so many times, I tried to crank out the content, and for the last 2 weeks from here on, if you check my channel, a lot of less things have happened there. And it had already a positive effect, which is where we come to the sporting side now. With an absolute great performance in the last VMS Pro Season 2 race, so the 2.67 hours of Le Mans, I put myself into second place on that race, which has been the best race all season, considering it is a Ferrari 499P driven race. So that got me luckily into P5, actually grabbing something of the prize pool because of being consistently driving, even though the average position of finish was like P7, P8, like certainly not where I wanted to be. And obviously I also benefited from a couple of guys missing the races here and there. So it still got me into top 5 overall, which get me something from the prize pool. But, you know, I haven't been really satisfied at all with that season, right? So, which is why for season 3, there were 2 reasons that I did not take the Ferrari. Firstly, and most importantly, whatever it is with that car, I currently cannot get my head around it. So if I would have chosen the Ferrari, regardless of BOP, I would have still suffered the same half a second compared to many other drivers right now, because for whatever reason, I am just not yeah, I need to take a little bit of distance to that car in order to hopefully regain some, let's say, confidence and performance out of it. So that was the first reason. The second reason, obviously, was the pending update. So with everything being a Ferrari Cup, yes, I anticipated that Ferrari will probably get a massive balance of performance nerf, and that they will slow it down significantly to make it on par with other cars. So it was a more easy decision actually to go away from the Ferrari additionally. So we picked the BMW simply because a lot of setups from Season 1 were still ready, should probably still work. So I saw myself having still a low budget of time, needs or requires a low input of time in order to actually have great pace. So that is immediately, well, not immediately shown, because like before BOP, the BMW was nowhere, which is like Yanni 6/10 off pole position, me 9/10 of pole position in Portimao. However, race 2 at Fuji saw a different picture. We took pole marginally by 60 thousandths of a second ahead of Dario Iamulo, who's still in the Ferrari. So the BMW, at least for Fuji, was on par for me compared to the overpowered Ferrari drivers. Not overpowered, but like really great drivers. Like they have really nailed the setup and like fully developed it. However, arguably you have to say that the BMW potentially have a small benefit in terms of BOP with Fuji in itself, which, and we're going to switch over to the endurance racing part of Le Mans Ultimate, has contributed well in latest Fuji results. So that podium, that P2 in the VMS Pro Series, after having led 55 minutes, yes, it was a bit of a pain, but overall I felt like really grateful for actually being back in there, for actually being on the podium, for having had a great performance, and also personally for myself, which is a struggle that I carry from the last 3 months. We're coming back to having more and more races again where my actual potential shines through. And we've seen that also in the 6 hours of Circuit of the Americas, where we have raced with Alex Siebel in the Ferrari. That was a race where the Ferrari has worked absolutely well within our hands. We've beaten the team of Henrik Gumbel. We've beaten the team of David Mrozek. Both really strong appearances in the Ferrari. Sadly, Fabio Grigoletto, Iamulo, and also Di Buono, they have missed on that race. So it was still kind of, yeah, we've won it. We've won it on strategy. We've won it with an amazing strategy, actually. 8 stops over 6 stops was the winning strategy. And maybe also the overall competition in that split hasn't been at the highest bars. Yes, I've spoken about the drivers that we've just beaten, but I think they all had a driver or two which was probably a bit subpar but compared to Alex and me. As in for our team, Alex was like an average 2,000th or 200th of a second faster than me. And we split it up equally, so we were like a very homogeneous pairing. So we have been with Sven Gielhud in Fuji now. But yeah, like that Circuit of the Americas 6 hours has been amazing feeling, like to win a 6-hour race on Le Mans Ultimate, to do it with Alex, like a long period friend. We've shared so many stories, so many adventures together in the world of sim racing and esport. So that was just so great to have it. And now with Sven, it was the first ever time I actually raced with Sven together. We've raced against Sven like 3 or 4 years back already when Low Fuel Motorsport was on our Factor 2. You guys may remember the one or other LMP2 race that we have fought out against Sven. And Sven ever since took like a really big step forwards. Also one of the guys that have continuously beaten me in the Ferrari. So yeah, he has also contributed into my mental pain that I went through, so to say. Anyway, we've had the 6 hours Fuji, with the BMW, and yes, the BMW, I've said it before, probably for Fuji, a very well car to have. But man, that machine on that day, like, whenever we were out on track, fully dry or fully wet, the car felt absolutely amazing. And it is honestly 4 or 5 months back where I'll be like, yep, I've never driven such a great balanced hypercar. Like, I never found the balance with the Ferrari in the first place. But more importantly, that BMW, it had maybe a notch of understeer, but whenever the rear was around to spin around on you, it gave you enough room to counteract immediately, to counteract in time, to not lose too much time. And generally the driving range, the drivability range of that car is just so much more wide compared to the Ferrari, at least from perceiving it in my own world. So yeah, those 2 6-hour races have been absolute phenomenal results, have been absolute phenomenal experiences, and I'm so glad to see that, you know, we're still at it. We still have the advantage. I mean, the competitiveness in that 6-hour race at Fuji now has been really, really high, with Fabio Grigoletto again being there, with Marco Di Buono. We've seen the team of Henry Gumbel again. We've seen David Mrozek again. We've had a perfect race, no issues, good strategy calls, high consistency, but still we took out over 2 minutes of the guys. And that is quite a margin after 6 hours, which I haven't felt, or I haven't achieved too often in my personal career. So it's really one for the books for my for me personally. Right, but coming back on to the topic of, we cannot go on like this. We will have less streams in the future. We may also have a little less content in the future. As you know, I do have my 8 to 5 job that currently takes a lot of effort from me anyway, because there's budget period, year end period, right now quarter end even. So additionally, we have that new dog, which I'm spending the time with, as you can imagine. And between all that, I have not found the time, and maybe also a little bit not the desire, to go and sweat the laps for every other race I do. And, you know, even if you'd be like, yeah, but everyone is just doing an hour. Yeah, maybe, but I wouldn't need to invest 5, 6, 7 hours per track maybe to overcome the gap, to overcome the disadvantage that has built over the period that made me go half a second slower than the majority of the grid. So I have not been ready to put up the effort into it lately, like mainly a time constraint. Also a little bit of a, do I really need to do it, because the cars, you know, they're getting BOP now. It's like Alpine, maybe BMW, certainly Cadillac is back in the mix. So the balance of performance has shifted around. So it was for me clear that I got to ditch the Ferrari anyway. So why would I invest more time into it? But mainly also there is a couple of other projects going on. Simracing Expo is just around the corner. So if you guys want to hang out there, if you guys want to meet, let me know down in the comments area below that you're going there. And maybe I'll have an eye out for you. Come and shake hands. Always great to, yeah, find and catch up with the community. And then there is a lot of other projects going on in the back seat, or in the background of the office, let's say. Stuff that I cannot talk about and don't want to talk about. Also, I'm trying to find a new routine for myself, more cool down, more sleep, quality of sleep. And that all kind of comes together into me having to adjust what I'm doing on a daily basis, where I not can crank out 4 or 5 live streams a week, where I just will dry out. And at the very bottom line, the majority reason, or the biggest reason why I'm doing streaming, is because I want to offer you a good time that you spend either on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, wherever. I want you to be like, yeah, I'm tuning in for Michi because I'm having a good time. I'm seeing great racing. I'm seeing good fun. And what I don't want to show is me being frustrated, me being down, me being, unhappy with the overall situation, which admittedly has been quite the case a lot in the last 3 to 4 months. So I will take a step back in that regard. We'll come back stronger. Obviously, still being a free agent, I'm trying to still find a team. So it's also very important for me to not just do streaming for the streaming's sake of like being live, of like sharing some racing. It's also at all times I would like to show the skills that I do have. I would like to show the performance that's in me in order to be a relevant pick for any future esports series if one's happening. So yeah, that's the thing. I'm hopefully being able to crank out in the future again. So don't worry, we won't fully escape. And I think that also frees up some of your time if you're really trying to watch everything we do. We're gonna have a little less of it because sometimes less is more, quality over quantity, and that's the route we're trying to take on for the next couple of weeks and months, and then we see whatever happens in the world of sim racing, in the world of Le Mans Ultimate. Guys, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Have any suggestions, any questions, anything you would like to mention, also put it down in the comments area below. Remember to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and see you next time. Thank you. Bye bye.